Hello and welcome to the IEM Oakland qualifiers. I'm Harry. With me is Tom. How you doing?
I'm looking forward to it.
Better intro than what happened in practice.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think we nailed it.
Same ear cup issue, but yeah. Now, very much excited to get into this one, Tom. You know, we've been flying out here all the way to Katowice.
So far away. You mean Oakland, of course.
Yeah, well,
we're live from Oakland. It says it behind us, so where else could we be?
That's true.
It's the truth.
Yeah, you know, I'm still having the same issue with my ear cup just coming off. I don't see if I.
He doesn't know how to wear headphones. It's only been what? A year
yeah,
or
no,
so
it's been a while. I've been doing this a while.
Earphones are what beat us, that is it. Mine are fine because I don't have any hair to get in the way, so...
That's a good point.
You're
also shorter.
It fits perfectly.
It puts you closer to the
puts me closer to the ground where all of the...
where all the cables
are.
Because electricity has to be grounded. There you go.
Course. Science. There we go. I think we should probably move on and actually get on to what we are here for today, which is going to be the qualification. And I'm hoping that we can bring up a cheeky little bracket that will give us sort of everything that is going to be going on today. Of course, we know that our game we're starting off with is going to be EnVy versus fnatic. But I think, at least for me, there's at least one surprise in here for who's actually going to be challenging to try and get through into that one spot, which is going to be the ex-Outlaws guys, who I think they've got a tough job. But I've seen them a couple of times online. They've not been bad for a brand new team. The problem is they didn't get the easiest team in the world to try and face off against.
No, not at all. I mean, North isn't necessarily one you'd want to be going up against first. You know, maybe if it was a nice cushiony LDLC, you know, nice entry on into this.
They'll beat everyone.
Well, yeah, no, exactly right. But yeah, no, ex-Outlaws goes the Bulgarian team, kind of a mixture between, you know, actual Outlaws and I think it was what MK or Imperial.
Well, they've got Bubble. They've got Bubble in there as well. It's not a bad team. I just don't think they're going to be able to hold off against North. But then again, I think they knew that going into it, that they would have to beat some of the good teams anyway. It's not just going to be like all of them will get eliminated along the way and then they'll face off against LDLC in the final. I don't think that's what they'll be expecting. It's possible. I just don't think so. And they're going to have to beat North anyway to start things off, and then they'll have either fnatic or EnVy. So it's not going to be an easy road no matter how they're going to get through if they somehow manage it, but it would be a nice little way to start things off. Of course, we're not watching that game, so I don't really know why that's the one I've focused on at least. Yeah, well, because we're going to be going with fnatic versus EnVy.
Yes, we are. A matchup that, you know, if you looked at it a couple of years ago, would have been
classic.
Yeah, like the matchup that you would want to see. Nowadays, it's kind of, you know, your average sort of game that you look at, and you're like, yeah, you know, these.
It's still exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But you're sort of going, oh, couldn't we just get all the old guys back and all sort of performing the way they used to, and it'll be the greatest matchup there is, especially considering it's sort of online and you don't really know what's going to happen. It could go either way. It's still the case. The thing is now that both these teams quite a bit more inconsistent. Even looking at either side, like if I was going to go back a year and say, okay, who are the stars of this team? I'm not picking the same people. Like I wouldn't go into that EnVy roster and go, do you know what? I think RPK is the star, but that is what I'm going to be doing because I just don't think Scream, he can have those games every once in a while where you're like, okay, he's back. He's tapping heads. Yeah. It's amazing. But then other games you'll be like, okay, it's not so much one taps, it's more 7. And that's not really what you want to be seeing from Scream. And then you're relying on people like RPK, even sometimes Happy, like sort of top fragging in the server. And well, normally he's playing more of the sort of lurk role. That's what that's what he's known for at least.
And then, you know, you look over at the Swedes, the fnatic roster, and you quickly realise that is, you know, almost not entirely different, but it doesn't carry the same essence as perhaps it used to, right? You don't have that vintage fnatic anymore because they have made changes, and ones that I don't think many people saw coming. You know, I mean, Olaf goes ahead and departs to FaZe. Which, you know, has been working out well for them.
We didn't see it coming until it was leaked, like quite a while before it actually happened. And then everybody sort of went, yeah, it's probably going to happen. But thank you for all the leaks that have ruined all the surprises across the years. That's always nice. I suppose it's a surprise that it was leaked, but they've ruined it for all the news outlets. But yeah, no, I think I'm quite happy with who they added though, because I think Letcrow, at least for me, is one of the players that I love to watch. I think he's a great entry fragger.
I'm going to cry about these earphones. It's just...
it's just been this...
You know, I'm ruining the magic for everyone. I'm sorry. It's not the... Anyway.
The magic of the big screen. Or that's smaller screen.
I might just have to wear it really far forward so that it's actually off my ear. And then, there you go. That's fine. I can put up with this.
Professional.
But, yeah, you know, I mean, they've made changes, as you were saying before I interrupted you. You know, yeah, Letcrow being brought in. And I think the one that I was really happy about was Golden actually moving up from the academy team into the main roster. I think that's the first time that's ever happened within one of these academy teams where, they
Can't think of any others.
They actually bring a player up into the main squad. So yeah, I was very happy to see him. I think the changes he's made thus far have been good. I mean, you got to realize he's coming into a squad that's full of legends. You know, players who
he has to lead.
Players that have major titles under their belt. Players that have been at the top of the CS world for so long.
Flusher. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm coming up here and you're going to listen to me.
It is an incredibly daunting task, right?
And we met him, didn't we, in Poland? And he was a lovely little guy.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine him being like the most demanding sort of, like, we will fight for our freedom sort of leader. I think, like, tactically he's probably doing very well. And I obviously like him because he likes using shotguns. And I'm a big fan of shotguns because they are bad to the point where it's very entertaining if somebody can use them. So I like him for that. I'm hoping that we will see at least some decent performances across the board, because at least in terms of their roster, it has been just, okay, Crim sort of still being that consistent fragger, like what you expect from him, somebody who doesn't often have like terrible games, but then maybe won't have sort of the best games either. He's around that sort of 20 frag marker. But then it's like you're looking at, okay, is JW going to step up? And more recently, okay, he has been the guy to be the sort of star of the team. And then Flusher is more like sort of just a swing where you genuinely don't know where he's going to be any time in the game. And that's a shame, because in the past, he was another player you'd look at and go, okay, Flusher is just going to be insane no matter what happens. He's going to be killing people through smokes. He's going to be getting reported all over the shop for things that he's doing. And then at the moment, you're sort of like, I don't know who's turning up. And especially, like, for me, that's worrying. If you're an in-game leader and you're like, I don't really know who's going to be here, so I can't. How do you set up? Like, how do you set things up in your team if you're going, well, maybe Flusher will play well, or maybe JW will play well, or maybe Letcrow will play well. And then you're just sort of going, let's just play our game and just hope that everything works out in the end. And that's not the Fnatic that we used to know.
Right, and coming into this one, then they're going to be matching up against EnVy initially. Do you think that's a good matchup for them? Do you think that was perhaps one of the easier routes they could have gone down?
I think, well, at least.
Who do you see winning out of these two?
I'm going to be going with Fnatic. I do think that at least as of recent they have looked slightly better, and we did actually see the sort of matchup between these two teams not too long ago either. So you sort of talk about the idea of, like, they actually beat, so the two map, well, we've got the map pool, obviously that was on HLTV beforehand, so me pretending to predict it is completely pointless, although I think we were pretty close.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and read us out the map pool so that everyone...
Well, obviously, for anybody who doesn't know, we are going to be starting out on Cobblestone. So I think you might have been able to guess that one. Then we're going off to Cash, which is going to be the pick of Fnatic, and then we end up on Train. Now,
I like the way you told. That was like a story. I felt like I was in mode. We're starting off on Cobble, and then we venture down the beaten path to Cash. And then if it's needed,
in a galaxy far away,
if the battered and bruised teams, if neither one has emerged victorious from the bloodbath that is going to be the first two maps, then we head through to Inferno. And apparently we come back to us. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hello. How's it going? We were looking at the monitor down here, but
no, we're just staring.
Yeah, so the map picks then. Of course, Cobble was picked by EnVy, as you probably would expect.
Yeah,
we got them very close together as well, because we both tried to look at the screen in the middle.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's here.
It's all good.
For anybody wondering,
it's like there.
I don't know why we're going into so much detail.
And then currently. Cash, was the map pick of Fnatic.
Well, both maps that recently in Pro League we've seen Fnatic win against EnVy. So, well, not recently, at the beginning of the month, or last month, because today is the beginning of October. But, yeah, we saw them recently actually manage to beat EnVy on both of these maps. So, really, you have to go in favouring them. And then the third map of Train is another one of their sort of better maps. However, you still have to talk about the idea that these are all maps that EnVy are happy to play as well. Nice start already, though. Aggression has come out. Golden's managed to get the first kill. And Happy, well, he tries to go pushing. He does find some information, but he's already dead.
Yeah, man advantage up right now for Fnatic as they stack 5 players over here towards the B-bomb site. XMS going to try and go aggressive in a drop down, and he's going to succeed on the back of that. Continues pushing on out, now in with 3. Monstrous frags, it's all on JW. Trapped in the 1v4, 6 that will finish him off, no problem. And EnVy, they're going to walk all over that pistol round like it's nothing. A stellar performance there from Sixer and XMS to lock down drop and platform between them.
Are we getting the classic EnVy buy, though? How many SMGs? Are we going to get the full 5? I think we might. Yep, MP9s. See, this gives, obviously, the great chance for them to make a hell of a lot of money going into this second round. The problem is it gives an even bigger chance for Fnatic to actually go and turn this back around. They've got the Deagles. In terms of the range battle, they are going to be winning it 9 times out of 10. So we're going to see a lot of sort of close close proximity battles coming out from EnVyUs, or at least we hope that that's what we're going to see. And in the early sort of rounds, you can already see most of them sort of revolving around that drop-down spot, a little bit of aggression coming out from XMS over towards the plateau, and then the remaining two players are just playing long A. Again, close to range battles, don't want to be giving these Deagles, these pistols, any chance whatsoever.
And yeah, I called it. The SMG of 2017 would be the MP9 Envy. Doing me proud right now.
XMS disagrees with you.
Oh, JW going to open things up in a big way. RPK already down and dropped down, and that's going to give them their foot in the door over here towards B. If they would like it, you can see rotating XMS on in. Take up position. Meanwhile, Six are over here along. About to have Flusher coming his way. The MP9 able to find the first. The boost from Happy over in B. Gets them one more, and Six, despite only being 19 HP, actually doubles down over at long. Now leaving this all on Lekro and Crims 2v4.
Not a bad start. Crims will be able to trade one back at least, so it's still not too bad a position. Of course, all the weapons they're picking up are SMGs anyway, so it's likely they're just going to stick with a Deag, and hits another shot onto XMS, who's down to just 3 HP, but this rotation from Scream should be enough. Obviously, the second he drops down, they're going to know he's here, but he's in from behind, already removes Crims from the map, and Lekro will go down as well. So the SMG, it does work. Your wonderful MP9s get themselves 4 kills in that round. And obviously, in terms of money made in that round from EnVyUs, $600 per kill. I think there was 1 pistol kill in there as well from Happy, so he's sort of ruined it. He only gets $300. But now they're going to buy up with an extra couple of rifles just to be secure, and they can pretty much sit back towards the sites and just make sure they don't lose any players to these remaining pistols.
Yeah, this is their chance to make some money. Happy once again, we boosted up. Didn't work out too well for him in the pistol, sorry. But this time should be a different story as JW is going to check it. Too bad the MP9 up close going to just shred through his fleshy body.
Nice imagery. Now you're telling the stories.
And that's the man advantage up for Envy here. Crims, with only his Glock out, is going to be lying in wait to try and deal with Happy. Happy isn't going to check it. Crims strikes out, but Happy still finds the frag. So that's $1,200 made. Lots of ground taken as fnatic now get relegated over into this small patch of land in mid. Happy just going to keep mowing them down with the MP9. Nice and easy, even at range. So good, so versatile. So happy with that one. 4 frags for him. $2,400 made. 3-0 for Envy, and now the buy can come in from the Swedes.
Yeah, and even straight away Happy just having enough cash that he's going to upgrade into the Inform. We'll have an AWP over as well, so quite a lot of money actually spent by Envy buying back in and not taking too many risks. Only RPK is going to keep that UMP, and it's looking like he may just be playing over towards drop anyway, so that's not too much of a detriment. And of course, going into this first round buy, AKs across the board, but still a few limitations when it comes to utility for fnatic. So not going to be a huge amount in terms. XMS actually going to be boosted up, but not going to find anything early in this round.
Fnatic going to come pushing on in. XMS able to find that first. Keeps pushing on in. JW will manage to get the trade. Into the 4-on-4 we go as Fnatic continue this presence in towards the B-bomb site. They're just going to try and spearhead their way on through, and Scream, well, he's got to try and tap away to keep Fnatic at bay. Just one off. The flower pot is going to fall to Flusher, and now it's just 6 left with the AWP. Wants to try and get out of there, but JW won't let that happen. He senses the AWP, picks it up for himself. A 3K for him. As Fnatic do manage to take their first round.
Yeah, now the money becomes a little bit more difficult for the CT side. As we can see, Six obviously buying up the AWP in the last round, doesn't really have much money to actually purchase into this one, and it's likely that the buy is going to be quite limited. Actually going to drop an MP9 over to him. So your SMG lives to fight another day. It's brought up into what will be the Force versus Fnatic. Of course, they have a decent chance to actually reset the economy of the T side, who did keep quite a few players alive in the last round, so it's not the end of the world, but they would be in a pretty bad state if they were to lose. And already Scream is going to be tagged down to just 19 HP, so not the best start for the CT side, and he may just want to drop this rifle over to somebody else who actually a little bit more healthy.
Yeah, Fnatic, they've slowed right down in this round, not wanting to go running into what they presume would be a 4-sport EnVyUs side, which is exactly what it is. Don't want to give anything away up close. They know they found the damage early on onto Scream. RPK thinks about to heat up for him here as he gets forced into the corner. Golden goes in for the peek and does pay for it with his life, so the man advantage up in favor of Envy. The bodies hit the floor over in drop. Now B's boosted up here on tree to try and deny any B play. The Molotov will go out to platform. Doesn't deny anything. XMS only just rotating in now. JW going to be holding the angle with the AWP. Meanwhile, Flusher, that long scream on the other side has to be careful. fnatic now come pushing in towards B.
Nice entry from Lekro, doing his job perfectly, but here is Happy, sprays down 2. Krim's going to be in position as well, and actually manages to trade, maybe a little bit over-aggressive, but RPK very quick, and now the only man left alive is going to be Flusher. That rotator coming in doesn't have any time. RPK is even going to go aggressive, 3 kills for him, 40 HP from the beginning of the round, and nice work from EnVyUs. They do break back, even with the pistol and the SMG still in play, and now, well, this is where the T side, I would actually say they should save in this situation. He'll get 1900 into the next round. Okay, they lose the sort of chance to actually reset their opponents, but they're going to risk it. CZs across the board, other than, of course, Flusher, and they are going to just try and break back. That's their challenge for this round, I suppose.
In this new version of Cobblestone, does it lie on a major fault line? Because it's like there's a slight earthquake just constantly. I don't know if you're noticing it, Tom. Do you see this? Crims isn't shaking in his boots, quite literally as he's ready to push out in middle. Six are holding long as well. Has to be cautious, and instead going to end up going down to Flusher. Now they continue the aggression up through long here. There's only one man inside of the A bomb site, and that is going to be Scream. Smoke down for Connector as they now push out through mid. Already rotating in is going to be Happy, joining him RPK. So 3 men within the site. 4 EnVyUs and Scream. Able to tap down range, finds the first. Going to keep peeking out for more, but it's Crims left alive in a 1v4. Doesn't look likely. Scream will finish that one off before he gets 2 out of hand. So the force buy from fnatic, sorry, just does not pan out whatsoever.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit, obviously, too reliant not only on that one rifle of Flusher, who went down pretty quickly, and then it was the CZs at range, and it seemed like the CT side knew what was coming. You could see Scream's position was so far back that he knew he had a massive advantage, and the one thing that fnatic tried to do was have JW as an almost sort of cutting off the rotation, making sure that nobody could get in. He died straight away, so the round from fnatic pretty much fell flat on its face when that happened, as all of the CTs were just able to rotate in without any problems from behind. And in this round, they're going aggressive once again, taking control of the plat. Push coming in from Happy. He seems to be the man that's pulling off all of the aggression at the moment. There's going to be multiple players actually gathered up over towards that A side of the map. The problem is, if the bomb actually gets caught, and he's just dropped it on the floor, that's going to be so much noise. I feel like the CT side should know. And there we go, JW's dead. That's the bomb in the hands of the CT side already. Round is over already as well, and that just means that the T side is going to run in and try and do a little bit of extra damage. They don't have control of the bomb. They don't have a chance.
fnatic will be able to buy down now, though. This is where they have another shot at redemption. Envy very quickly pulling ahead here. 5 rounds to their advantage. A 6-1 scoreline on the CT side of Cobblestone, and no less.
To think about that one.
Yeah, nearly said Inferno. I'm not quite sure why. There's not much of a resemblance there.
Well, you know, the big banana, that one. Freiberg sitting at the top of it.
You know a lot about the big banana, Tom. But JW very quickly going to go and smoke off platform. Wants to try and go aggressive. The pop flash going to come on through. And that will keep him away. The Molotov now as well going to do that much more. XMS on the other side of broken wall, peering on through. Doesn't quite catch a glimpse of JW. On platform just yet. JW's incredibly quick, takes the head of XMS clean off, and that's the man advantage up for fnatic here. As now he continues his aggression, he's already found one, wants to try and get a little bit more work done, but Sixer will come in with the trade. Happy takes the aggression onto platform, but he doesn't need to and does fall as a result. And now Scream flanking round, he's about to discover the bomb, and that could be terrible for fnatic. As he looks to lock it down, they flash through. Scream watching this. The Guardian Angel, he took a step there. They should have heard that. They have the idea as to where Scream is, but it is still a massive problem for fnatic. Gonna go ahead and smoke it off. Push on in. Scream from the heavens. Flusher takes his head clean off, and that is fnatic in with their second round.
Yeah, nice work from JW there. And also, this is the first time I think we've actually seen them remove RPK from Drop, who's been a real problem for them so far. So not a bad start for fnatic at least. But we are going to see if they can continue to actually gain some T rounds. That's the big problem at the moment. Double AWP setup comes in from the CT side, so Happy and Sixer are going to be looking to try and find those picks. And interested to see how they're actually going to be playing. It's going to be Happy all the way back towards the chicken coop spot. So a little bit more passive, and that's probably just to counter what JW was doing in the previous round, running straight onto the plat, just looking for those entry kills. He has sort of picked up more of that role, which is quite interesting, really, because you would think that they brought Lekro into the team for that exact purpose. He was an entry fragger when we saw him over on Godsent, of course. Then again, on Godsent, I feel like he needed to be more of just a everything sort of role, but JW, well, he's going to be getting toasty over there, and Happy, they just set him up perfectly. Molotov out, Happy holding the angle. The first kill will go the way of EnVy.
In comes RPK. The cleanup crew along with XMS to find those two frags and drop. And in the blink of an eye, it's just Flusher and Lekro left. The latest addition to fnatic combined with one of the long-standing members. XMS comes in with the peak. Lekro's fully flashed now. Flusher in a 1v5. Now, 3 players are tagged very low, but there's a smoke there, and Flusher gets flushed.
Oh, that was
Scream does manage to finish him, and yeah, Scream. No vegetarian here.
Well, he might be a vegetarian. He didn't eat it.
He did. New addition for Valve to implement. You can eat the chicken corpses to regain HP.
That makes it into a very different game. Somewhat dark, you might think. Either way, we are going to have a force back in. That's twice now that fnatic have managed to win a round and are instantly broken back by EnVyUs. The economy game definitely working in the favor of the French side. This time their buy is slightly better, but it's still only going to be a couple of AKs. And as of so far, fnatic looking like they may be in a little bit of trouble here. Push again, JW. They can pretty much expect him to be on this plat. That seems to be the only spot of the map he's actually probing at the moment. And well, Golden looking for the kill and drop, and they've actually got rid of RPK. Not a bad start at all.
Man advantage up for fnatic. Look at JW. He snuck by. XMS does manage to trade him, but not before he's able to just annihilate Happy there. Now, man advantage still going the way of the Swedes. They're going to start to take control of Long, and Scream is going to be there, peeking through his own smoke. Spotted out by Lekro, didn't need to take the aggression, and he will be punished for it. Not the sort of mistakes you can make versus fnatic, and now Sixer stands alone out here on A. He's able to take the first, but Crims comes in with the trade. XMS in the 1v3. Decides it would be a better fate to go ahead and save.
I'm interested to see how much money EnVy will now actually have, because that's a sort of backwards and forwards scenario, which will probably hurt them quite a bit. Yeah, it's only going to be Happy. Obviously, XMS will save one, so he could drop another rifle. And then the remaining players of the team are going to be struggling a bit to get a buy. I think they may risk it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be against sort of them actually going for the save. It's more of a sort of in-game leader call whether or not they try and force this back. Of course, they know that fnatic's economy is not going to be great either, because again, it's sort of like they're going backwards and forwards to reset rounds. They're not building any money off loss bonus or from actually stringing rounds together. So I would say, okay, you got an AWP, you can drop over a rifle, Happy can buy a rifle as well. I think they're probably going to go for it, especially as with EnVy as well, or French teams in general. They do love their SMGs and their pistols.
Yeah, I just love force buying in general. There's just something about the risk of it all. I think it's like a thrill. You know, the adrenaline of being bad with your money is just something that they can't. So yeah, it
really gets the blood. You know? It's like, yeah. Oh, well, I might be screwing myself here.
Happy's got himself an AWP. Double AWP said I'm going to come on in. Not something that I think either of us would have predicted, but Six is able to find that first on a flusher down in middle, and already man advantage taken. Meanwhile, over at long, Screen going to be holding it up close with the Mag 7. And fnatic, in response to this, they've slowed right down. Crims has to be careful in mid. Going to start to retreat from that. Meanwhile, Happy peeks out slow, and JW, well, he's fast on the trigger. Double smoke for efficiency.
Just make sure it's extra smoked.
Meanwhile, over here, Long, Lekro gonna go ahead and decapitate Scream as he completes the transition from one tapper to one tapped. fnatic, with this man advantage, gonna try and send that bomb Over at the drop down with the looks of things, 3 players residing over here on B. JW trying to take control of long, and XMS will be lying in wait on the platform.
Yeah. Still patience from the T side, just holding the angle. AWP watching on either side. Of course, XMS, now being in a man disadvantage, is going to want to go for the peak, and JW is not going to miss that shot. 2-man advantage now for the Swedish side, and well, it's going to be down to RPK on the site, quickly removed by Crims, and Sixer has no choice. Just going to have to save that AWP into the next round. That is going to be the reset now onto EnVyUs, and as said, that was the risk versus reward. They could have gone for a 4-buy into the next round. Instead, they went for the Force, trying, of course, to reset fnatic instead, but now they're going to have no money, and that's a chance for the Swedes to get back into the game.
Oh, they don't even manage to save on 6. They're going to lose him as well. That could have been a nice potential, catalyst to take into this round, something to try and make magic happen, but instead they're put in a situation now where they're just going to have to bite the bullet. At least you might think they'd be that way inclined, but it looks like the adrenaline's kicking in again, Tom.
What is this?
So they force down on a couple of players. XMS unhappy, looking like they might be a lot more restricted than the rest of the gang in terms of what they could afford into this next round.
I think they must be planning a double eco. I think that's the only way that this is logical at all, wanting to make sure they have all that extra utility. They do have a little bit of a buffer in rounds, and getting sort of, or going for sort of 8+ rounds over on the CT side is definitely not bad at all. However, what can they do with these pistols? T's are just going to be running straight in towards that A side. There is one man a little bit more aggressive in the form of Happy, who will be able to flank in. Nice work from RPK, looking to do more with the CZ, but can't quite hit Golden, who's completely blind, and eventually gets traded out. Flusher is trying to make as much money as possible, but again, Scream now with an AK, looking for those tabs. Of course, this time he has to do it. It may be in his name, it may be in his nature, but he doesn't have any armor, so he doesn't have much of a choice, although JW, with the AWP, not going to be hitting the shots. A lot of low players at the moment, and XMS, he actually has a decent chance here.
Yeah, pushed up close to SWAT. Crims lies in wait beneath balcony, but this man is no Romeo. It's not a love story we're looking for. It's XMS, who has to try and find the opener, which he will. JW only on 10 HP. Time working against XMS here, though. Has to go ahead and get on that defuse. Just going to be sticking it, and pros don't fake. JW, you might have to learn that the hard way as XMS manages to do it. Saves the M4 as well. And Envy, seemingly from nowhere, they will manage to get themselves an 8th on the board, thanks to the bravery and the balls of XMS as he sneaks that defuse in.
I like the fact that the CT's even bought a kit. they went for just pistols in that round. Nobody saved that from anywhere. That was actually just a sort of intuitive purchase of getting a kit into the round, and wow. From my perspective, if I'm JW there, I'm expecting a 10-second defuse because of what they had in their arsenal. So brilliant from XMS to pick that up, and yeah, they get a round from nothing. Now again, fnatic going to be in a position where if they lose this round, they're not going to have much money in the bank. They do at least get themselves a bomb plant in the last round, but that really isn't much of a silver lining considering they did just lose to pistols.
I can't be happy with how that previous round turned out. So, lusting for revenge into this one. 3 players over here in middle. Golden peeks over the smoke. He is going to get spotted down in mid. And Scream starts to make his way up towards long. 6 are going to try and watch this from the top of hut by the looks of things. While JW keeps probing into B. Does have support from Crims for the trade, and they're going to start to rotate the bomb on round over in towards the B bomb site. Hasn't been too great for fnatic in the past. But they're going to try their luck, try their hand at this. Happy once again up on top of the tree. He's been so strong from this position in these past few rounds. JW on the entry with the AWP. 2 players ready to try and make their way in through drop down, and they're going to get that for free. It's Flusher and Lecro to try and open things up. You have to watch out. The flank coming in from behind. They're going to get completely caught off guard. A Scream comes in with 2. Happy able to get one more, and JW back against the wall, but that's not when you want to fight this man. Only 10 seconds left. Has to move in quickly here. And 6 are playing it around short. JW going to try and get this bomb down. Reads it perfectly, but there's no time left. And with that, 6 wins the round from just hiding over towards short.
I think he had time.
He didn't. He got it down just after the 4 seconds. He was on the site. If he planted the second he got there.
It takes 3.5. I'm sure he had time. I'm sure he had. I thought he was dead on the amount of time you needed. plant the bomb. Maybe just tried to fake it. I don't know. Either that or it was very, very close to the mark, but I think he had time. Either way, Tees, they are still going to be buying into this round. Had just about enough money to sneak another one. It is going to be AKs across the board. No AWP this time. And the CT side themselves, obviously only having one player surviving, don't exactly have stacks of cash, but they do still have the AWP. SMG onto XMS to just sort of get some extra utility on the board. And the Tees, at least in this early round scenario, are going to be feeling their way out towards that A site.
Scream's holding close over a middle. He's the man who could throw a spanner in the works. The only issue is Sixer now is open too long, meaning that's going to have to get the majority of his attention. Scream holds in mid. Does have Sixer to try and trade. They'll check the corner. Scream able to find the first. Golden does trade it out, and that's where Sixer gets punished. Loses the man in mid. Has to turn his attention between both long and middle, and then is easily picked up by Letgrow. JW now going to pounce out from drop down, denies the rotation. They have to focus on dealing with him first, and as he picks up a second, might make it 3, but RPK does have something to say about that. Gets the trade, but it's still a massive 2-for-1. Rotations have been utterly denied, and he's locked out the site. fnatic will be able to get themselves a 5th.
Yeah, it did actually look like the CT side, once all the smokes had fallen, it was a 4 versus 3. They almost seemed like they were trying to fall back out of the round, just looking to go back towards that B site, and JW completely denied them. He currently sits top of the board, 14 and 10. He has been the man to sort of open up the last couple, although in this round over towards A, we finally saw Golden and Letgrow combine to completely take down that A site. Either way, it is going to be 9-5. CT side in terms of money are going to be struggling, as they're only going to get the 1400 loss bonus and the 1 save rifle on RPK.
So I actually loaded it up and watched it back quickly. He did have time. He was trying to fake it. He was trying to fake the bomb plant.
Nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes you play yourself though. It happens to the best of us. And
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, or that as well. You know, EnVy, they're going to be coming in with the force. Last round of the half, as you would expect. fnatic have everything they could possibly need. AKs across the board, plenty of utility. No defuse kit this time for EnVy means no defuse heroics from them. 4 players for EnVyUs over towards A. Now that's something interesting as they now go aggressive out through mid. They're going to take the fight to fnatic, and fnatic aren't ready for this one, as they're stacked up over on long, held back from the utility of Happy, throwing in the wall of smokes, but here's Sixer, rains down death on the flank. And suddenly Crims has to turn his attention towards the rear guard. 3 players still left hanging out on long, and XMS comes in with the dig. So to pick up one more. Now JW and Letgrow find themselves pinned, stuck between a rock and a hard place, as they have to try and gain some ground back. JW doesn't get anything done, does find one, but that's it. Before the trade comes in, and now Letgrow, latest addition to fnatic, left in the 1v2, able to find the first. XMS is going to peek out, but Letgrow wins the duel. And fnatic, they managed to keep on top of that round. Things could have got out of hand very, very quickly for the Swedes. They managed to keep it together. 6-9. Going to be the score at the end of that first half.
Yeah, not a bad recovery in the end.
Moving the cup, sorry.
Yeah. Hide the cup, hide the merch. No, of course, not a bad recovery from fnatic, considering how it started off. We were sort of at a 7-2, was even 8-2 scoreline. It was very heavy in favor of EnVy in the early round scenario, but they managed to sort of drag it back, winning a couple rounds, and it was more the early mistakes that they were making that sort of cost them. We saw that pistol round come in from EnVy with the XMS defuse, with the kit, which was really, like I said, it was great from them, but you had to look at it from the T-side perspective, just losing individual tools.
It felt like a lot of the time fnatic would like be on the cusp of winning a round, and then it would just fall apart in like the final, you know, actually locking it down part. Like there were times where, you know, would see them in the bomb plant, they might have like a favorable scenario, and then it would just get thrown away. Even then, that last round was a great example, right? It almost eluded them because they had no one watching the flank. And that's something that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily expect from fnatic. It was a ballsy play from EnVy, but, you know, and it almost won them the round. And, you know, it is a very envious thing to do. fnatic should have seen that coming. And that could maybe be attributed to the fact that Golden is like a new IGL within the team. They're still trying to figure out some of these things, how they properly gel versus, you know, certain opponents. Yeah. But still, I mean, if this continues for fnatic, I'm not too optimistic for them, I'll be honest. I feel like they have to try and get back on top of that fairly quickly.
Well, especially even the way that sort of EnVy have been setting up those sort of rounds. Like, a lot of the time you see aggression. Oh,
look at JW.
He doesn't have Julies in a kit, though. I'm still waiting to see someone with Julies in a kit. That's what I want.
You don't need a kit when you've got dual Berets, because that bomb is never going down. So, it's pointless.
Yeah, we've got 2 HEs as well. That's quite interesting. I want to see where those are actually going to be thrown out. We've got...
Oh, it's a round without X-ray.
Push coming into middle. Looking to try and get themselves all the way around. Still manage up. So it's pretty much a classic A split in this pistol round. Decent amount of utility for Sixer, who's likely just going to try and smoke off the door and then just pop flash the rest of his teammates in through long. But at least at the moment, they may be looking to try and fall back. Just make a lot of sound early, and Happy is already going to pick up one. He's actually going to retrieve the Julies, but only for a second, because Lekro, he doesn't want anybody having that deadly Julie combo.
EnVy trying to make their way into B, but Lekro's causing some problems over here on platform. He's able to pick up 3 frags there at the end. That is fnatic in with the pistol. A chance now to equalize things out. The force buy going to come in here from the French. As you would expect. If they didn't, I'd be surprised for a whole lot of reasons. Because A, they're meant to, and B, it's EnVy.
Yeah.
So they'll be force buying down, what they can. fnatic aren't going to leave much up to chance. And we look at it, we can see the difference in kind of the confidence. Yeah. EnVy in there, Antico, they just had MP9s almost across the board. Meanwhile, fnatic, they've gone for the majority rifle. By Crims is holding mid and walking into his crosshair. EnVy will come. Smoke down to keep them out of middle. That nade finds some good damage on the Scream and RPK. Happy, as you would expect, not with the rest of the team. Instead over here towards the B-bomb site. About to try and secure platform, but Lekro has something to say about that. And it is just Scream and Sixer left, 2v5.
Yeah, and you can see just based on different weaponry, the different ways that these teams are going to be playing the round. You saw a lot of sort of aggression coming out from the CTs, but even just Crims' position right now, he's all the way back towards the site. There's no way, unless a crazy shot is hit by Sixer, that he's going to be losing that battle. And now Scream is just going to be tagged away from a distance. Tech9, not something we see too much at the moment because obviously the run and gun is sort of gone. It's more about those taps, which I suppose if anybody is going to be able to do it, Scream would be the one. But a 1 versus 5, really he just wants to try and make things a little bit more costly. If he can drop a rifle or two, that's the one way that the CT side are going to be making money, is the fact that they keep everybody alive. That's how they have to do it, because they don't have the SMGs to sort of farm up cash, as we saw from EnVyUs. And, well, they do keep it completely flawless. Not a player loss, still some extra utility actually kept that they didn't need to use. And that's just a great round from fnatic.
Now, I'm trying to work out this scoreboard. I feel like something's awry.
But this is like where it resets the score at halftime.
So JW has 16 kills in 3 rounds.
No, it resets the points. It doesn't reset the kills.
No, because Crims is 4-0.
Okay, maybe it resets.
So I think what happened there is Crims probably DC'd from the server at halftime. But anyway, look, that doesn't matter. We're into the pistol round. EnVy, they're over here towards B. Aggression from JW could put never mind, going to be tagged down very low. Has to fall back, and now the push going to come on in. You have to be careful here. The Molotov, or Sindri rather, going to go ahead and divide these forces. That's saying divide and conquer. Does come through at least for Crims. He's able to find that first. Tagged XMS down low as well in the process. And EnVy running out towards there as fast as their little feet will carry them. Flusher to try and put a stop to the madness. Watches this from Connector. Has to be cautious. There's so many players coming his way. One's going to get right by him. Flusher doesn't turn around. He was locked onto the middle, and that's the angle he went for. Bomb going to get dropped by Golden as he goes ham, but he will be picked up by XMS, who's now in with a second. Going to try and retrieve the bomb, which he'll be allowed to get. Crim spots him running into the site and then does manage to finish it off. So denies the bomb plant, denies any more damage being done. And that is the equalizer found, 9-9.
Yeah, not a bad eco round in the end. A bomb plant would have been nice for the T side, but only SMGs lost for fnatic. So it's not the end of the world, but it would have been much better if they could have kept those couple of SMGs. Probably would have seen more of a bonus round. Flush is actually going to have the AWP. I don't know, is that going to be chucked over? Is that just him now picking up the AWP mantle? Not something I necessarily expected to see, but at the same time, not something I'm against. T side, again, it's the same sort of buy we would see every single time when you go into these sort of rounds. Okay, they're going to have a little bit lacking in utility. And by the looks of things, they're just gathering up to go for a very fast speed push. JW is going to be in position, sprays down a first and a second, looking for his third, and does a lot of damage. Now Lekro up above can just finish off the 2 of the remaining players. And now, well, Happy not so much lurking. He was with the rest of the team, but he is going to be the only one left alive. 10-9, fnatic have taken themselves the lead on the CT side. And once again, the T's probably just going to go for a few pistols, try and do a bit of damage, and use that max loss bonus to get a bye in the next round.
Going off what you just, I can't think of a situation where when I've been, casting EnVy, I haven't ever had to follow up with last man left alive is, you can already just know who that is.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the other side.
No, I know. To be fair, he was with them. It was unfortunate, but
I love the name of this gun. Whoever came up with it is a genius. See you later, and then it's an alligator. That's my favorite skin ever. Whoever did that, I appreciate you.
RPK is pro player by day, comedic genius by night. As Happy, gonna go ahead and leave B, rejoin the rest of the team over in middle.
He has actually covered up the alligator though, with RPK stickers.
Cruz is posted up here to try and keep EnVyUs away. They're getting him walking out of his crosshair, and once again it's a slaughter over in middle. Happy does manage to trade as he steps up to the plate, but now he's in a 1v4. Trapped into the corner. Wants to try and make it worth it by picking up one more frag. The flash going to come on in, and JW round to the corner is going to go ahead and get annihilated, but Golden is there to trade. So fnatic in with their 11th, 2 rounds ahead as they start to pull into the lead. By able to come on in from EnVy, but they really have to try and get on top of this situation sooner rather than later, as that lead that they had in that first half has quickly eluded them, and now fnatic find themselves in the driving seat here in map number 1.
Yeah, and they've already built up a lot of cash. Like, the one good thing about that sort of Crim scoreboard glitch is the fact that we know he's only died once so far in the second half. So he's building up money. Letcrow's in a similar position. At least in this round, very, very passive indeed. A default coming out from EnVy, hoping that we see some sort of aggression. Of course, that is something quite commonly seen on a map like Cobblestone, because a lot of the time, well, if you're the CT side and you want to find something out, you actually have to go peeking into a crosshair of a T. So either that, you're going to do what fnatic are doing right now, which that's a lot of aggression. JW is caught out by RPK, and while the default works nicely, at least for the starters, it's going to be a man advantage now for the EnVy side.
Yeah, and they were considering long. Flush are going to be lying in wait there with the AWP. The utility, the rains on in, that's enough to deter them. They try and sell the fake out here towards the A-bomb site. Now they rejoin with RPK. Over here at B. Ready to push in. First port of call is going to be dropped down. Golden resides there. Try and keep EnVyUs away. That's the first man in. It's going to be tagged to 32 HP, and now this leaves all the pressure on Letcrow. Oh, it's nice and easy for RPK as he finds one. Golden hot on their heels with the trade. 2 versus 3, and Golden in the site. Does have support from Crims. 30 seconds left. EnVy going to try and go for the rotate here, but they have to move quickly, and if fnatic read this, they could lock EnVy out of the site. Crims is rotating in with the AWP. He's going to try and hold this one off from balcony. And EnVy, they're playing with fire. This is going to come down to the wire as Crims in the site could be the grand denier. Tries to hold things off. Time is of the essence here. They have to move in quickly, but Crims going to fall at the first hurdle, and now Golden left in the 1v3. Luckily enough, Sixer finds that frag, because there was not time for the bomb plant.
They failed jumping up the wall. That was almost a complete catastrophe for EnVy. I think one of the players went to jump up the wall, failed it, and then tried to run around. Didn't have enough time.
Sixer coming in with the wall bang, the clutch wall bang. That literally got them the round.
That was ridiculously close for EnVyUs. And well, they win it. That's what's important. They get themselves back into a position. It is going to be 11-10, of course. Now all that magnificent loss bonus is gone. They don't have that anymore. If they lose this next round, they are going to be struggling. Of course, winning the round with a few players alive will help them to get something into the next, but it's definitely not going to be the best position. Similar sort of round, sitting back, waiting passively. We got Crims fairly aggressive over towards middle. But other than that, this time it's looking like the CT side are going to be a bit more patient. Not going to have JW just running straight through a smoke towards the Ts.
Crims going to be holding middle while the rest of EnVy, they're going to take things a little bit more slowly in this round. Once again, same sort of strategy as what we've seen. 3 players over here towards A, 2 waiting in B, but this time it looks like they want to try and take control of drop early on as RPK and Happy try to force their way on in. Happy peeking out towards connector while XMS secures long control along with the rest of the guys. Crims is still up close in the middle. RPK now joins Happy here. It has to be careful as JW's close, but RPK's closer. Finds that first. Lekra now turns his attention out towards RPK. Smokes it off close, pushes on out, tries to clear rock. There's going to be no one there. It's Golden. Here's RPK moving in, finds that first, and now Happy tries to slide the dagger in from behind, but gonna get tagged. Crims, here's the rotations over in middle. Scream has to check this, which he will, but Crims wins out the duel. XMS on the trade, but once again, no time left here for Envy. Bomb drop, that's enough to solidify the round for fnatic, and Flusher could do some serious damage. There we go, XMS. He's gonna go down after the clock. And that has ruined the EnVyUs economy.
They're seriously overplaying their hand at the moment. That's 2 rounds in a row now. Well, the last round, yeah, they got a little bit lucky. But that's 2 rounds where the time could have played a massive factor. And the second time it has, now, as you said, is going to ruin their economy. They do have a bit of extra cash and, of course, the weapons that they managed to save. And they've got to do it again. This is something we've already seen in the game. But nice start from Crims. He'll start off with the initial kill onto Scream. Has support as well over towards Long from Flusher, but nice shot from XMS. Will take his head clean off and at least turn it into a 4v4. And in this situation where you've got weapons missing, trades will work wonderfully. RPK, it's not even a detriment, this guy having a pistol. We saw it when he was P250 King. They nerfed that. He's now switched over to the CZ and he's still causing havoc.
Now Envy this time. They're going to keep their eye up on that clock. I'm confident that it can't happen again.
Fingers crossed. Toes crossed. Legs crossed.
Everything is crossed.
Eyes?
I mean, I actually have a lazy eye, so I'd find it difficult to do that. But here we go. They've rotated everyone from fnatic into the B bomb side. They could come to regret that decision as the bomb starts to rotate on round out towards A. There's plenty of time left here, so fnatic's 4th man, the timer, isn't going to be on their side. As Envy now sees control of A, there should be no way of them messing this one up. The bomb hasn't gone down just yet. It will be coming on in from RPK. And that's fnatic locked out the site. Don't want to risk going for this. They are a man down. They don't want to throw anything away to destroy that economy. They can still bind in the next round if they save these 3 weapons. So Envy on the back of a force going to be coming in with an 11th, keeping things competitive here in map number 1. Of course, this is the map pick of EnVyUs. Right now, fnatic, they're going to be 1 round to their advantage after this. That lead starting to diminish. And we're at a point where potentially we could see this go all even.
Yeah, this next round is going to be absolutely crucial to the game because either team loses it, they're going to be the ones with no money into the next round. It is going to be much more of a problem economically. And that was something we saw sort of fnatic really struggle with in the last half of the map where they were managing to win a round, instantly lose one back. And now Envy are in the exact same situation. They've won single rounds. They've not managed to string any together. Of course, the round that they actually lost was, again, based off time, and they lost a player after the time, so even more damage done to their money. And now, well, if they're to lose this one, again, a same struggle. Lekro and Flusher going to be picking up the AWP. So obviously just going to be 1 split to either site. It's looking like we're going to have a complete speed up. Envy, they're going to go barreling into this site.
Yeah, Lekro, he's the man who has to step up massively to try and keep them away. JW going to come in to assist, able to find the first. Golden will fall, but JW stands between them and the site. And Lekro going to go ahead and finish off all 3. As he steps up massively there, fnatic very quickly back into the lead on this one as they come in with a 13th. That's the EnVyUs economy taking a significant blow as well. They can go for the buy. Sixer can get himself an AWP as well if they would like, which they will. RPK relegated down at the CZ, but for him, is that much of a relegation? This time, Flusher going to be AWPing. Picks that up. Takes it over towards Long. Scream already out in mid. Going to cause a bucket full of problems for Crims as he opens up this round in a big way.
Already, this is going to pull multiple players over towards this A side as well. The CT side gambling quite heavily. They've sort of moved players over we've seen Letcrow move in. So we're actually going to have 2 AWPs on the A side at the moment, playing that sort of distance game. And we are also going to have 1 man in drop, and then obviously the sort of plat aggression out from JW. He's just going to be sort of screwed in a lot of these situations because he only has himself a UMP. And at the moment, at least, it looks like RPK with that pistol is trying to sell a fake. He's dragged every single player away from this A site. There is nobody there at the moment. It is going to be a rotation back, but it still seems like they're almost being herded like sheep at the moment. flusha somehow still manages to give them the man advantage, though, and at least going into this retake, they should be in a decent situation. Also getting back onto the site, but look at Scream, still just tapping heads like at the beginning of the round. He's on for the ace, but Golden is still going to be there to trade. It's the 1v1. Looking for Sixer. Both players missing the shots. Going for a little bit more. And, well, Sixer very low on HP. Down to just 12, in fact. Golden now going to try and rotate himself back. And obviously he has the advantage here. Only 25 seconds left. Sixer looking like he's going to try and get himself a little bit further aggressive. Only has 12 HPs, but AWP, that's not the worst case scenario. 15 seconds left on the clock, doesn't have any idea where his opponent is, and going to go pushing straight into the angle, and Golden will snap. A big round for Fnatic. They do snap back, break that economy, and although Screen gets 4 kills, it's not enough.
Yeah, no, Envy must be a bit shattered after that to go around getting 4 frags on the back of Scream, who's playing like it's, what, like 2015 again? And then to still lose? I mean, Sixer could have got the bomb down. They could have had more money into this round. There's a lot of stuff there that could have been played differently. Of course, he had no clue where Golden was waiting. But the second you don't see him on balcony, you could just be like, okay, site's clear, let's go for the plant. But no, this round going to be the force coming in from Envy. 3 players over here towards B. Crims and flusha holding mid and long respectively. And Crims a little bit curious as to what mid has in store. Does start to push on up. Going to flash into drop. Golden doesn't fall for their tricks, though. Happy's able to get 1 in retort. Crim's going to go down in mid as well, and now XMS is in the back line. Pushes on up, mid-air. Golden going to go down, and flusha left alone up on A. Going to fall at the hands of XMS as now just JW remains. 1v3, a round that never should have been for Envy. And the Swedes find themselves up against it. XMS finishes things off as he goes ahead and ruins JW there on his attempted retake, a 3K from him. And Envy, they managed to step up, stop Fnatic from creeping over the finish line. That would have been, of course, map point for Fnatic. As now has 14-12, the reset going to come on in for the Swedes. And Envy looking to try and make their way back into this.
Fnatic genuinely could have put this game to bed by now if they stop losing versus these pistols. Now you have to give props over to the French for being able to do so well in these pistol situations, but again, you sort of have to take it away from Fnatic, saying you should be winning these rounds. You shouldn't be just handing extra rounds into the hands of Envy and almost saving their economy a lot of the time. They could have gone into that last round with just pistols. But still, Crims is going to start things off onto Sixer, so we lose 1 player from the MV lineup. Again, we've already had problems with them not being able to build up any money over on this T side, so they don't want to be losing any more players at all to what is only pistols.
Spot out Golden. RPK is quick to finish that, but they have to watch out for the cubby because Letcrow now emerges from the woodwork. The flash comes in, and head him fully. RPK with a trade, pivots back round, and with a 3rd now, and in the blink of an eye, it is just JW left. There you go, the one-tap machine himself, Scream. Does struggle a bit there, but gonna be 13-14. The buy can't really come in from Fnatic. They're probably gonna force buy down on the players that can afford it, but that's gonna be a 14-14 scoreline for Envy, all tied up. It's been very back and forth, but somehow EnVyUs have done it. They've potentially hauled this one back to all even. And it's so important that they've denied Fnatic that 15th round. They can still finish this in regulation.
Yeah, another round that, again, Envy just wanting to keep this one nice and clear. It is getting towards the end of the game, of course, so money begins to become a little bit less of a factor, especially with the loss bonus starting to build up for Fnatic. RPK, Eco-Frag King, just making himself will look a little bit better on the scoreboard. We do have a man sneaking around or attempting to, but Letcrow is going to go down. And the remaining 2 players in flusha and Crims could actually just opt to save the Kevlar and the pistols and maybe bring that into the next round. Best case scenario here is they manage to steal away a rifle or two. And other than that, well, I'm not really expecting too much. But flusha will be able to pick up one with a CZ. But RPK, as said, the king of these eco-frag rounds in the last couple, gets his second and leaves flusha alone. Again, he's still just looking to try and get a rifle and get out of there. But the rifle that he's already dropped is in the door. Will actually take down RPK, so no more eco-frags for him. Scream going to be around the corner. Still hoping that he can retrieve something here, but eventually Scream is going to take him down. 14-14, scoreline leveled up. And the next round, well, at least for fnatic, is so important, otherwise they're just playing with loss bonus going into the final.
Yeah, with how EnVy have poised themselves for this, and when you look at Fnatic's economy, this is, the ball is in their court. They can afford to buy next round anyway. There's a good chance of overtime. Fnatic now, they have to pick this up. As you say, the economy will be ruined in that next round for them. So the weighting here, the gravity of this round is monumental. 4 players for EnVy over here towards long. Grim's looking like he might want to try his hand at aggression down in mid. Would be denied by Happy, who lies in wait. They're going to go ahead and throw out a few smokes into the B bomb site, but the bombers rotating back around to rejoin Happy. JW gets burnt out into the open, takes the duel with XMS on platform, and does win it out. And you can see they've lost the man, and it hasn't fooled the players over on A. Crims still lies in wait in mid, but Happy comes in with the trade. Does undo some of the damage done. Flush now peeking in through long, getting it decapitated by Scream. 3-on-3, and they don't see Happy coming as he annihilates 2 players. Now it's just Golden left, and Happy, he stepped up when they needed him to the most. Golden down beneath balcony, peeks out, Scream spots him, taps away, and that's what we want to be seeing from Scream as EnVy. They go and get map point here on Cobblestone. 15-14, no money left for Fnatic. This is perfect for EnVyUs.
2 absolutely massive plays in that. Scream not only getting the entry while they were pushing into the site, but then from Happy to just quickly remove 2 from the map is absolutely wonderful. We've got now, as said, that sort of weak buy coming in from the CT side. They've got pistols, a FAMAS, and an old style Mag 7 on JW. I'm not going to be discounting that. I could never discount that on JW. But just look at the buy for EnVy. AWP, full AKs. They've even got some spare pistols that they managed to retrieve into the next round. They're in a very good state for this one. But you still have to say, it's still possible for Fnatic. Never count them out. Even with weaker buys, we've seen both teams sort of perform well. And at least for now, it is just going to be that heavier presence over towards the B site. I guess then the majority there, even rotating Crim sort of between the doors so he can get there very quickly indeed. Just sort of going for a spot to give them any information on the T's themselves. They know that this money isn't going to be great at the moment for Fnatic, so they're playing the sort of default standard. Sit back, wait for the aggression, and then slowly and methodically try and take control of the map. However, there we go. Nice start from Golden. Finds the first RPK down to just 9 HP. No trade yet.
Macro's holding close by broken wall, and in doing so, he breaks the offensive. As XMS is going to fall. Golden will be traded out. But sneaking in through the back line is Crims. He's going to double down. He'll take that all day long as 6 are left in a 1v4. Overtime is looking likely unless... Ooh, through the smoke. Okay, Sixer. Oh, there you go. They probably the most anticlimactic way to secure overtime ever. That's perfect. I'm kind of glad we're back to us for a minute. I was getting mildly seasick, from the slight shakes.
Like, no, maybe we should start doing it as well. Just like.
No, I don't know. It feels weird, man. But yeah, no, that was good. I think Observer a little bit nervous.
Knees weak.
No, I can't let you carry that on. But yeah, overtime will be secure. We'll be heading on through to that in just a minute, waiting for both teams to ready up. Of course, Cobble being the map pick of EnVy, it going through to OT. Fantastic from both Fnatic, initially, and then EnVy to do just an amazing job being able to bring that back to such a close scoreline. Let's not forget, they were down in, 5 rounds, I think it was, at one point in time. And then they haul it back to a 15-14 scoreline. They were looking good to actually win that out. And then Fnatic, thanks to a fantastic play I think now I've forgotten who it's from. Now the pressure's on. Golden, I think it was to start everything off, and then Crims over at Platform really just solidified that round. So great job from fnatic to pull it back. And OT on map number 1. I don't think we could have asked for anything better.
Yeah, no, well, it's been the CT sides that have really been the better of the two. Both teams really struggling with economy on the T side, which is almost weird to say. Normally it's the CT side where you're sort of running out of money and having your real economic drought, but both teams sort of, okay, we'll win one round, instantly lose the next, and then you have the sort of battle of the pistols. I think the one thing you have to say about fnatic, though, is if they manage to just work their anti-ecos better and beat the pistols of EnVy, they would have won this game. Like, it would be over. The first map would be done.
I tell you what, it's been a bit of a reoccurring problem for this new fnatic roster. I'll be honest, in watching them play, one of the things they have struggled up against a lot is anti-eco rounds. They just don't seem to quite get how to play them, whether that's players overextending further than they necessarily should, or for some reason it just all seems to fall apart. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but EnVy as well are kind of the one team you really don't want that to happen with, because if there's one team that are, you know, at least, you know, in terms of like their legacy, they're a very, very good team on these 4-spy rounds. So, you know, fnatic leaving that as an opportunity for them to exploit, and they're going to take that all day long, and that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, I think the other scary thing to mention as well is Scream is sort of like on the border of going into the mode where there may be no one who can stop him, because he's sort of had those moments. Yeah, it hasn't been like particularly consistent throughout the game, which, oh, Scream's been nuts, but it's just every once in a while in a round you just go, he's going to kill everyone here, isn't he? And it was like the round where fnatic just managed to survive, where Scream runs in and kills 4 people on the site. And it wasn't like they were just him sitting back and sort of waiting for teammates to push. It was him just running around killing everyone. And he was doing that at different points of the map as well. So going into overtime, if he really steps up, hits his gear, and RPK keeps just sort of chugging along like he does, the big old tank, then they could definitely still take this one. Of course, on the other side of things, we've still got sort of Lecro with that AWP when he had it. I actually kind of want to see that come back, but at least for this first round, it isn't going to be happening.
Now, man, the shaking's got worse.
Now it's slow motion.
Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to be heading into overtime 15-15, and Six has got himself the AWP. JW going to be AWPing for fnatic as you would expect, but he's already down and out for the count as Happy has opened this round up for EnVy. He's been someone who has been stepping up. In with a second. Lecro falls as well. Happy on a tear. And with that 2-man advantage, EnVy gonna now look to rotate background out towards A, where Crims will lie in wait.
He's going to find one over towards middle, but quickly traded out through the door from Sixer, so still a 2-man advantage for EnVyUs in this first round of overtime. And now Golden and Flusher, well, Golden at least may just want to try and keep hold of this AWP. Of course, the CT side can still have troubles. I think it's MR3 16, not 16K, 10K, right? I didn't actually see the money at the beginning of the round, so I'm going to assume that it's that. That's sort of the norm. Golden is just going to be holding the cross for anybody looking to try and push out of drop, and he does hit the shot onto RPK as well. He's going to fall back, wait for his teammate to actually rotate in, but he's given them a pretty decent chance of actually winning this one. The problem is they don't have much utility left, so they really need to find a kill quickly if they do, and Happy still just playing how Happy does, lurking around in drop, finds the kill, and the second as well. Big round again from Happy, and it will be 16-15 in favor of EnVy.
Buy is going to be coming in from fnatic, but they have to be careful. This is the issue with 10K MR3, is that you run the risk of running out of money, of course, if you go ahead and lose those first 2, especially been buying up AWPs, as JW did, which you can already see he's had to forfeit in the shell. Lecro going to be picking that up. I imagine it'll be thrown across. But they haven't done that straight away, so Lecro.
Yeah, he was playing it on the B side, to be fair, over
going to be
Chicken.
Breaking out the AWP for fnatic.
Goes in the same spot as well. I don't think that's bad at all, especially when we've seen some sort of faster B pushes coming in from EnVyUs, and he was one of the people who was able to shut it down. So I'm quite happy to see that come back into his hands. JW, I think that was actually the first time we've seen him pick up the AWP on the CT side, and he went over towards drop, which I don't know about you, but I don't feel like that's the best position to be playing an AWP. It's very risky indeed. It's surprising, which I think that's why they may have done it, but it didn't work out at all. He gets wrecked within the first few seconds, and now, at least on the T side, they are just looking to, again, slowly take over this map control, clearing out a lot of spots. The CT's having to expend quite a lot of utility early on, in fact, only down to just flashbangs and the one smoke, which has now been expended as well. So into these late round scenarios, this is where just EnVy are almost playing with their food. They're now going to rotate back, all their utility's gone, and it is just going to come down to the Angels from the CT side. Yeah, it looks like Scream's going to be the man to try and shake things up, as
He makes his way over here towards B. Whereas that initial pop flash to try and clear any player up on platform. Not going to be anyone there. Instead, it's JW who lies in wait in the cubby on short, and they won't check it. RPK bites the dust as a result. XMS going to come in with the trade. Does manage to pick that up, but Letgrow shining in with one more with the AWP. Now it is just Scream and Sixer left. Time's of the essence. They have to move quickly here. Golden flashes out from drop, but Scream lines them up and knocks them down. And now Flusher left in a 1v2. Scream and Sixer come pushing in. Flusher tries to step up. Scream has the man in his crosshair. Can't quite connect the shot though, and Flusher, he's overstayed his welcome here. Scream's on low HP. What's going on? There's only 3 seconds left, and Flusher's only gone and done it. 1v1. He wins it out, finds the frag after the time, and that was sloppy, but also fantastic from Flusher.
I think a lot of the praise I just had for Scream is just sort of gone. Because he missed so many shots. He only needed to connect the bullet. It's painful. It's one of those moments where you're going, please, please, please. And then Flusher, well, just awareness there to just go, okay, there's no time left. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm not giving you any more chances. I've given you enough. Yeah. However, CT side still going to be in a bit of trouble here. They've got that MP9, which I'm sure you're still going to be happy about. Do you think it can work in buy rounds?
100%. Best go. You'll see what I mean. But Flusher is able to find the first. Scream instantly, and with the return onto Crims elsewhere. Down in middle. Allows them to actually start pushing on up, and Scream going to go ahead and take that in his stride. Starts to deal with Flusher, and he's able to find the head. So
it's a turnaround.
Shaky start to the round there from fnatic. Man advantage up for Envy. Scream still in the back line, just causing so many problems over here at A. They've had to rotate a man in, and that is going to be Letgrow. As he plays this over on cannons, Golden and JW still over here at B. And if Letgrow starts to rotate off, Scream's easily able to pick this frag up, no problem. They're going to lose Golden. They rotate the bomb round, and Happy now pushing out from drop to deny rotations, and also splitting towards the A bomb site. Letgrow, his time on this earth is very limited here. Scream going to come in with the peak. Goes ahead and gets the refrag there, and now JW 1 versus 3. This round, incredibly important for either team, and JW with his back against the wall, forced into a 1 versus 3 retake. Now through the murder hole he goes. RPK's over at long. He spots Scream holding close on Swap Van. That's the first frag found. Now, trading up to the AK, peeks into Sixer, knows there's a man in the sight, but RPK peeks wide from long to assist. And Envy, they're going to be coming up with their 17th round. 17-16 here at the end of that first overtime half. And adding into the second, that means Envy need 2 rounds to close this out.
Yeah, I'm expecting somewhat a different overtime to what we've seen in the sort of rest of the game, just based on the fact that neither T side, at least in the early rounds, had any money. Like both times, it was sort of getting reset very early in the game. So I think it should be a sort of better scenario now that we have, well, both teams with a lot of cash, of course, $10,000 in their bank account. So I do expect a bit of a change, but it is worrying because now going on to the CT side, it has been the stronger for EnVyUs at least. And, well, they're not going to have the problems of having to try and risk around with pistols unless they lose the first 2, in which case, well, then fnatic may be able to take it.
Yeah.
The thing I hate, though, is even when you say that, it's like the first 2. I don't know what it is about that 3rd round in overtime. It's just a bogey round. Something just goes wrong.
Yeah, right? Like,
it's never, pistols always win.
Yeah, it's never the team that should win that wins. And, I mean, fnatic, they have to go flawless right now if they want to pick this up. They only got 1 round in that first overtime. So that's going to make things a bit more tricky for them, especially when you consider how bad they have been on these anti-ecos. But let's see anyway. The double op setup going to be in play. Happy and Sixer with that for Envy, as you would expect. fnatic have thrown the AWP over to JW. He was entering with that on their T side. So he's going to try and replicate that success once again.
T side going over towards long. It's only going to be Sixer to deal with him. He does have the AWP, but doesn't have any support. And Scream is just going to be watching towards mid. The rest of the setup is pretty much identical. More interested in the AWP of Happy a little bit further forward than what we've seen so far. A little bit of spam going through the door that JW is just going to completely ignore, but again, it's much more of a slow round. Sixer has to be very careful in this scenario because, as I said, he doesn't have a huge amount of support, but he does get the first and instantly just looks to fall back. Going to take that man advantage all day long, throw out a bit of utility to try and slow any chance for a trade, and the smoke is going to deny the T's from being able to find anything. Nice work from EnVyUs. They get the pick and then just fall back.
All right, taking that bomb round over here towards B. Throw out the smokes and flashes to try and sell that you're playing for the A bomb site. Fake this one out. Keeps 3 players inside of A with a 4th rotating in. They are going to lose Flusher down in middle, and now XMS has to step up massively. Over on platform, he's able to take one before the trade comes in. Crims single-handedly starts to turn this round on its head, but losing Lecro there in the cross leaves him alone, and Envy very quickly mop that round up. Envy is going to be on to their 18th. They need 1 more to win out Cobblestone at their map pick. The first map in this best-of-3 series to decide who goes through to the next stage, playing versus the winner of North and X-Outlaws.
Wonder who that will be. Bulgarians have got this. I don't actually know. That could have already... Well, no, it couldn't have already finished.
Could have
maybe
already
the
ended. How ruined do you think Outlaws got? But
oh, it's straight back.
Someone has to find something. Instead, actually, not much damage done over a middle. Happy. He's the man trying to start things off doing damage, which he will. JW just succumbs to the AWP of Happy on the B bomb site. Golden wants to try and trade, but Happy's playing it close, playing it risky, as we've come to expect through the smoke. Golden is going to fall. And that's a 2-man advantage for Envy. fnatic, they're on the ropes. This could be their last round in this map, their final lifeline for map 1. And they have to try and come back from a 2-man disadvantage. 3 players over here towards the A bomb site. That's everyone for fnatic. Inside, they'll find Scream and Sixer, not the ideal candidates to try and take a sight off of. Scream's holding it close. Down goes Flusher, but Crims comes in with the trade. Now Sixer going to get decapitated by Lecro, and Lecro doubles down, wants to try and make it a little bit more, but can't find anything there in through the door. Will be a 2-on-2. RPK forces the issue up through the Molotov, able to find 1, make it 2, and that's the round to go the way of Envy. 19-16, it will be the scoreline that ends it all as they win out map number 1.
Happy clearly wanted that defuse. Just going to be knifing his teammate at the end, but yeah, it is going to be EnVyUs taking that first map. Obviously their choice, but a very, very close series indeed. And you have to wonder, okay, you remove those sort of mistakes, the pistol rounds that they managed to win. Do fnatic take it? I think that they probably do.
Right.
Both teams obviously struggling a little bit with that T side initially, but Envy then managing to win 2 in OT. And, well, that pretty much set them up on the CT side. The double op setup, I don't think anywhere near on that CT side did fnatic ever come close to being that double op setup. It was always JW on the T side, sort of feeling out towards Plat. And every time we saw Happy actually get the AWP, he countered him.
Yeah, and that was weird to see, especially when you think about it in the first half. It was more kind of XMS we saw playing the platform role, and that wasn't working initially. JW could quite easily kind of beat him in those situations a lot of the time. Yeah. Then you mix it up by sticking Happy there instead of having him play this really kind of loose rotational style. Yeah. And I think that worked out for them, a great counter to JW. And if you can counter him, you can kind of counter fnatic. That's kind of the way that it is, right? And, you know, he just couldn't get anything done. So it will be map number 1 to go the way of EnVyUs. Of course, they do manage to win it out in overtime. It was, you know, closer than I think I initially expected. But heading into the next map, Tom, do you want to give me at least, you know, your thoughts perhaps on what we can expect? Do you think, you know, Envy now, they stand this chance of taking it 2-0? Seeing as, you know, Cash is a good map for both of these teams.
Well, yeah, classically, Cash was actually one of their best maps. It's always these two.
It was always, you know, classically an EnVyUs map.
And again, if they can pull in the same sort of aggression on this one, where they just take the fight early, get those sort of AWPs in play, I actually want to see Happy AWPing on this map as well. I want to see him take the fight versus these teams players, because that is working out for them. Like, just him getting the early picks, they fall back to the sites, and then it just seems like when it comes to the executions, that fnatic are a little bit more lackluster. It's more that their pick play was working well, and then they would just work off of that. So then on the CT side, when they could be a bit more passive, that actually worked.
Yeah, and do you think that kind of comes now down to the fact that fnatic don't really have, at least that they should do, but they don't really have that star player who's been stepping up, and it kind of links back to that inconsistencies now within the fnatic roster?
It's not so much they don't have the star, it's that they don't so much have a consistent star. Like, Crims is normally sort of the man that we look to. He definitely had some moments in that game, but at the same time, it's not someone like Flushy. We were sort of like, okay, he's doing okay, but he's not doing anything crazy. Golden is the in-game leader and had a few moments in the game that were all right. And then Lecro sort of, again, it's sort of him and JW want to get those entry frags. And when JW started getting shut down, Letcro wasn't really there to pick up the slack, and I think that was the big problem for them, at least on the T side, and that's where, well, the majority of problems for them really were.
Yeah, so map number 1, that is going to get the way of EnVyUs. But there's still potentially 2 more maps left to come to decide who will play versus the winners of North versus X Outlaws coming up next. So be sure to stick around, but we're going to go ahead and throw over to a very quick break. Or are we?
Or are we? How long can we sort of just...
And that's fine. So
should we just do like the whole like the voice thing where we just slowly
cut over to a very quick shake? I'm sure that's something that we can do. That rhymes with break and could be just as entertaining. But you know, I mean, it's all good, Tom. It's fine, you know.
It's fine. Just stare the camera down. Eventually, we'll win. I'm sure the camera will just become sentient and find out a way to actually turn off this screen, right?
That's fine. You know, this is expected. You know, map 1, there's always going to be some problems. You know,
well, we've had a shaky start.
So I mean, I'm hearing something in my ear, but the issue is you always speak at the same time, but it's very quiet.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we go. We've been told this time, you know, we kept you in suspense, and this time now, for real, we will be throwing over to a very quick, shaky break.